Yeah, man, I'm just tripling up my money, man. We tripling, you know what I'm saying? Trip-a-lin. That means, you know what I'm saying, you take a trip, uh, lin, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, just trying to make something out of nothing. No, I wasn't doing nothing crazy. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I had like a summer whenever I was like stealing phones and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be at the YMCA. I'll fucking, this is kind of fucked up now. Think about it. I'll go to the YMCA. I'll fucking go in people's lockers and steal phones and shit. I only did it once, and I came up on a nice phone off that. And yeah, I felt bad because then I was there. I was watching the dude go through his bag, and I had the phone in my bag and he didn't even know. My dad actually found out I stole it, and then my dad stole it off me. Yeah, right. And my dad, he's like, "You stole that phone, man?" I lied. I was like, "Nah, I traded it with my friend for a couple games." And so then he took it off me, and he was using the phone, but then somebody else took it off him. So the phone was just went through layers of being stolen. It's crazy. My older sibling was making beats, and I would always be on FL. So I'm like, oh, like I was familiar with that shit. And then I just said, fuck it, like let me hop on this shit. And I started doing it, and I was liking it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would freestyle on the beats with my friends. I got mad freestyles on my shit right now, like from 20, you know, 15 of us just rapping, like on these nut ass beats I was making. Like it was really so I could rap on them. There was no like set plan. It was just like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm rapping, but the beats just did its thing first. I remember we just used to go up to the mall and fucking, you know, try to bag shit, try to talk to girls and go up there, no money, but just walk around like that was the move. You know what I'm saying? Just try to talk to females. It was no pickup line, bro. It was just so awkward. It was just like now. I mean, you young, so it don't feel as awkward. I know it's dumb and shit. Like you just go up, hey, like what's your snap? Dumb little shit like that. Like there is no pickup line. You just go up and be like, hey, like, you know, and just immediately ask for the media. A lot of times I wouldn't even go up. I would get like a kick out of the homie going up and like, I'm like, oh shit, he's really doing it. Like, but I wasn't. I'm like, nah, you're not about to. If I get rejected, I'm gonna be salty. It was a real gradual growth, but the moment I realized I was like making money for real was like whenever I was a senior in high school, so I was like 2019. I had a little bit of money in my bank account. I had like $6,000, and like I was like, oh, I could buy a car with this. So I saved up a little bit. So I bought the car. I only had $1,000 to my name, but then a month later, I had $6,000 to my name, and I'm like, oh, I'm back where I was at. Like it's like I just made back my car. So I was like, okay, bet. So then I was like, oh yeah, I'm back at it. So I was still working a job throughout 2019, but it wasn't really until 2020 came. That's whenever I started making like, okay, like real like six figures of just producing. And I was like, oh shit. Now I quit the job. Now I quit my job at JCPenney. Then I was just like, all right, beats it is. The most like memorable studio session. I was in the studio with Cruiser whenever we made my song Fiji, and just the moment of that was crazy. Was crazy. It was just in the midst of the Kendrick and Drake beef, and there was just a lot of just energy in the air because you just didn't know what was gonna happen next. Just their whole back and forth just had me like, yo, I gotta make some hard ass shit. Like I was just so energized off that whole ordeal. I'm like, yo, I gotta go in there and make some crazy. Where I live now is like I live in like an Amish town. Used to be random shit happen. I just pulled up to some like it was like three old white guys was just performing in the park. And I pulled up and I was there, I watched them. I don't live I don't live with them, but you see them. Like, you ride down the street, you gonna see the horse and the buggy, you gonna see them for real. Like, I walked into a Longhorn steak place and they all had the bob cut, bro. It was like 12 of them niggas with a bob cut. They was looking at me crazy. Like, they probably never seen a nigga before. Like, oh, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, they probably never seen this type of hair before. And then they looking at me like, no, I'm looking at them like, oh, like, it's crazy. And I'm like, ain't y'all Amish? Y'all not even supposed to be in the Longhorn, right? Am I wrong? Vince Staples. That nigga, he knows something. He's on to something. He says shit that's like, oh. And he's for the niggas, man. He's for the niggas for real.